So Elon Musk, yesterday, he was named the Time Magazine's 21 Person of the Year. So Elizabeth Warren tweets, let's change the rigged tax code so the Person of the Year will actually pay taxes and stop freeloading off everyone else. Musk followed up saying, stop projecting. You remind me of when I was a kid and my friend's angry mom would just randomly yell at everyone for no reason. In another...
That is her profile.
It is. She's angry.
She's always angry, and that voice.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, this is why, of course, she didn't even come close to winning the primary.
I think she did better than Kamala, didn't she?
I mean, that's not a standard, though,
okay,
is it?
all right.
Is that really the standard you're shooting for?
In another tweet, he said, oh, please don't call the manager on me, Senator Karen. I love this. And I love this guy because he says out loud what a lot of people think. And he is a guy who I have real problems with at times because now he's saying, no subsidies should be available. Well, after he got his subsidies. So is he kicking the door behind him to stop everybody else? Or has he really had a change of heart? Hopefully he's really had a change of heart. But I don't know. But here's what I want to talk to you about. I'm not sure if the people that we have, quote unquote, coming over to our side have actually really changed, other than they realize their side is really dangerous now. So in other words, are they like Republicans that joined the Tea Party that realized, I gotta be out of this Republican Party because they don't stand for anything. And we realize that. And while we torch the Republican Party, many of us will still vote for the Republican Party. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I'm not sure if these guys have had a real awakening to our argument, or they're now seeing the people they've been standing in the room with, and they're like, I don't want to be with these people. This is crazy. And so they've revealed themselves as the true, more libertarian liberal that they always have been.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. You see what I mean? Yeah, I think the Overton window is back
hard.
in effect here. We talked about this with Bob Costas the other day, who, he had this call with Jim Garrity, who had criticized him for some of his monologues about guns and the Washington Redskins team name, and said he was, as we did as well, that Bob Costas seems like a crazy liberal. And Costas called up and said, hey, I'm not that guy. I'm not far left. And just the fact that he would want to disagree with being outed as someone who is far left indicates he probably isn't far left. Because AOC never comes up and says, no, I'm really not socialist. That's not what these people do anymore. Right. That's an old era of liberal.
And what's weird is they are now separating themselves. They were the ones who would have said, Glenn Beck's crazy, saying that everybody's a Marxist. Mm-hmm. We're not Marxist. When, Newsweek magazine ran the headline, we're all socialists now. And they were the ones that would jump on the bandwagon defending the people who were on the Democratic side that were truly Marxist. Mm-hmm. Now, did they just not believe that? Or have they had an awakening to Marxism? Were they always part of this kind of Marxist soup, and they've just backed up and said, okay, this is not going to work here? Or were they just truly a blind liberal that just thought the party is the party and we're not Marxists?
Yeah, maybe they thought it was just overblown. Republicans were saying these things and they're not true. And to be fair, there were a lot more on the left side that weren't Marxist. I mean, Joe Biden used to very much sound like a normal Democrat. If you go back to the 90s, you can go back to the 90s. We were talking about this with San Francisco a little earlier when it comes to crime. There's a version of Joe Biden that could do very well in this country today. The
And
1994
that's the version that people thought they were
voting for.
Yeah.
And that's why he got elected. And
Right.
you go back to 1994, he's got the crime bill. He's trying to hold people accountable for criminal actions. Now he's saying that was racist and I apologize for it, when that sort of action is needed most, as we're seeing in San Francisco now. So I think it's come a long way. Elon Musk, I don't know exactly where he comes from on the subsidies sort of thing. He's now saying he doesn't want them for anybody, which I love. I mean, that's what I believe as well. However, obviously his company was built on them. I mean, Tesla was built on it.
That's why I wonder, is he kicking the door closed for everybody else?
I don't think so. I don't think that's
either.
him. Maybe he just he didn't emphasize it a lot back then, or maybe he just liked the idea that he could get his company started. I don't know. But you left out, I think, the most important part of this exchange with Elizabeth Warren, when he points out he will pay more taxes than any American in U.S. history this year. Now, Elizabeth Warren is so dumb that she's actually criticizing a person for not paying taxes who's paying the most taxes of anyone in history. Has there ever been a bigger miss of a tweet than Elizabeth Warren's? Think about it. Seriously.
Well, seeing that he's paying more taxes than anyone in history.
He's paying more than anyone in history, and she said he paid nothing. There is literally no way to miss more than she missed. And
George Washington never died because he is Satan.
I guess.
And that's questionable. You could still question. Maybe.
We can't quantify that. We can quantify the Elon Musk situation. Yeah. And he, of course, followed it up with, don't spend it all at once. Oh, wait, you did already.
That's so great.
It's true.
So great. Now, so the question is, people are waking up, but what are they waking up to? Are they waking up and saying, conservatives are right? Or are they just waking up to the things that we've always had in common, where conservatives, the people like us, have said, guys, we didn't change. You changed. You changed. The Democratic Party is no longer fighting for what you say you believe in. They're not fighting for the Bill of Rights. They are fighting for socialism and communism and a fundamental transformation of America. Well, I hope that they are waking up, especially to the Democratic Party thing. Because do you remember, it was racist to say anyone was a Marxist. It was crazy to say somebody in the Democratic Party is a communist. Well, tell me what you think of this story. Senator Richard Blumenthal from Connecticut, one of the worst people in the world, spoke at an awards ceremony over the weekend hosted by a Communist Party affiliate whose leaders used the event to recruit potential members into the Communist Party. Now, he's one of the wealthiest members of the Senate, which let's put that aside because actually it's his wife. I just love a man who never really even created wealth, but is living off of his wife. It's so beautiful. Blumenthal appeared even as Democratic leaders have downplayed allegations that many in the party support socialist or communist policies. So they are still saying, no, we don't support that. But then how do you explain Blumenthal going and speaking at the Communist Party event? Blumenthal was introduced at the event by Lisa Bergman, a Communist Party member who blamed corporations for the imperialism that exists in our world that is undermining the labor and environment movement. She also there was another communist MC, Ben McManus, issued invitations at the ceremony to join the Communist Party. And I quote, "If you're not already part of the Communist Party, we invite you to participate and contribute and join. There's more and more people talking about socialism in this country as it becomes more and more clear that capitalism is not going to work for our future." So tell me what's happening there. Democrats, explain this. Can you imagine if somebody said, I am definitely not part of the Klan, but then you're invited to speak at a Klan awards ceremony, and you speak, and when you're speaking, everybody's like, and by the way, make sure you join the Klan on the way out. How would you explain that? Because I think that would be unexplainable. I think anybody who did that, it would be pretty hard to say, oh yeah, he's not Klan friendly. No way. No way. How is it that the Democrats don't care that they are now having Dick Blumenthal, a guy who's not known in the media circles as the radical? He's kind of the law enforcement kind of guy. I just want to make sure that everything is running, and really buttoned up. I'm certainly not a communist. Really? Then why are you speaking at the Communist Party awards ceremony? We have to wake our friends and family up. And this is why I've been saying for a while, our Unum has always been the Bill of Rights. When Biden says freedom, and we're just talking about you having to get a vaccine. What's the big deal? The big deal is the government doesn't have the right to tell me what to put into my body. That's the big deal. You don't have a right, so stop trying to do it. You don't have a right to force companies to make me do it. You don't have the right to do it. Today is the day that the founders enshrined the Bill of Rights. They were very important. They still are. And those were the things that brought us together. Not our policies, not who we voted for, not things that we have to tax or not tax. It was the Bill of Rights. And when you have leaders of the Democratic Party speaking at the Communist Party annual awards, you don't have people who believe in the Bill of Rights. You have people who are working with or standing with people who are undermining the Bill of Rights. And that's the one thing we should still all have in common.